Very good evening to everyone. My name is Mzora Amon, a student at Makerere University, pursuing Bachelor's of Library and Information Sciences at East African School of Library and Information Sciences. I'm the 90th Guild Minister of Campus Student Affairs, Makerere University, and the GRC Guild Representative Counselor, East African School of Library and Information Sciences, Makerere University, and the President of Makerere University Hama Students Association. I am here to briefly talk about or share my experience, my leadership experience while at Makerere University, and my leadership experience as a president of an association in Makerere University, but then talk about something that I would feel like it should be changed in our communities. And I'll start by saying or commenting about the money influence in our communities while we are in the political season. I have tried to witness this in the previous term of leadership in our communities, where community leaders or where community people voted for politicians just because of the money influence. And those politicians turned out to relax in parliament, not to represent our issues as the local people, not to do any community activity, not to engage leaders in any program, in any government program for the benefit of the community people, for the benefit of the students. In my sector here, as a leader who have tried to lead students at Makerere University in our community of Hama constituency, I have witnessed this where I have tried to reach out our leaders that we voted just because of the money influence, and those leaders are nowhere to be seen. Where we are left out, dying out with our concerns, with the concerns affecting the youth in our communities, with the concerns affecting the students of unemployment after graduation, after leaving campus, after leaving school, with students just being on streets, with youth being on streets involved in the acts of theft, involved in the acts of gambling, alcoholism, and they have no option other than just being on the streets. Why? Because we voted leaders because they gave us money, 2,000 shillings, which is little money in Uganda here, just buy a bar of soap, and service is no more to be seen in our communities. So I myself, as a leader, as a student leader, I'll start by condemning this voting just because we are influenced by money, small money those politicians give the community leaders. And instead of money, instead of looking out to service delivery, instead of looking out to better representation in our communities, we just look out for those small money that they will just give us, and services are no more to be seen in our communities. And I propose that we should vote leaders because of their competencies, because of their capabilities, because of their physical, moral, spiritual, and their effective representation. We have seen people representing our issues even if they are not in parliament, even if they are not in leadership roles. So when they try to show up and become leaders, we should vote for those leaders who are capable to represent our issues to the floor of parliament, to work for the people, other than voting for the leaders just because they are giving us money but with no potential, with no capacities to represent our issues. And another thing, as a youth leader, I'll just talk about my experience when I had, I organized several activities while at campus. I organized a Makerere Chikoni cleanup. I organized the Makerere Chikoni cleanup, health drive, the tree planting activities, and then I also organized a community activity. It was an outreach with a health drive, with a cleanup, with tree planting, with the sexual reproductive health sessions and the career guide decisions. And what motivated me most, it is when I was after the career guidance session, and one of the students in Rukoni Secondary School, one of the schools in Ruhama County, approached to me, and he was like, "Oh, like I didn't expect a student like you, cause I'm a student, studied, born from a humble background, and from those poor schools in the communities. So those students in those underdeveloped schools, in those underdeveloped communities of mine, couldn't believe that someone like me would reach at Makerere University, which is the biggest school in Uganda and East Africa. So this student approached me and he was like, I couldn't believe that someone like you would reach at Makerere University. And I couldn't believe that someone like you, who grew up, I was looking at you, would come to us to motivate us, to inspire us. So in me, I had this feeling that leadership is not about the titles, the speeches that we speak, but it is about igniting that belief, igniting that spirit, motivating those young people with little or no hopes, motivating those young people. And they are stuck just because they are studying from poor schools, just because they are coming from poor families, poor backgrounds, that they cannot make it to be big, that they cannot make it to study from those big schools in the country, that they cannot make it to be more impactful in our communities. So I myself, I was too and very much motivated and inspired, and I was so appreciative and grateful to the Almighty that I could change a life, that I could inspire a life, that students like us from humble backgrounds, from poor families, who studied in poor schools, couldn't make it. Why? I inspired that young student at Rukoni Secondary School to know that even if he studied from a single and poor school like Rukoni Secondary School, he can also make it to be a minister to Makerere University, to study from a big school, and to change our community. Why? I was a leader. As a student leader, I had to motivate those students at Makerere University to come to my local village, to come and motivate, and the real people from our local villages to come and motivate those students to know that themselves they can also make it to be at Makerere University, to be big people, to be big men and ladies that can change our communities. And as I conclude, I'll say leadership to me, it's not about what you have, it's not about what you do, it's about how you change, how you impact, how you motivate, how you inspire the people besides you, the people in your community, the people in your area, the friends, the family, and everyone that surrounds you. How you change him or her to be better, to grow and develop. That's all I can say about leadership, and I'll beg to submit for now as I conclude, praying that we can be community changers. We can empower communities to change for good, not for bad. For good and my country. Amen. Muzora Amon. Thank you.